What did you think of the decision yesterday?
Well, of course, I think it exposes how corrupt the judicial system is. I hope we're channeling and we're trying to work on a channel the energy, the anger, the fear, the how people are repulsed, and channel it into positive into the populist movement to raise an army of 250,000 army of the awakened that can be the finally get trained up for everything to be the election officials, election judges, get out the vote stuff you used to do at the RNC all the time, Sean, kind of blocking and tackling that. I think that muscle memory is kind of gone now, but it can all be done. I think this can be a tremendous positive for us, can lead us to bring in 2/3 of the nation to see what the injustice is and how we're losing this constitutional republic. So it didn't shock me. I think we can draft off this, and I think we can turn it into a big positive if we focus.
So Trump says this morning at Trump Tower, 30. He said 39 million. He talked about the Daily Mail poll, 6 points up. Is that surprising? I mean, I can't believe it. I was thinking 34 million bucks. $39 million in 12 hours and a 6 point bump. I get it's just a flash poll, but this is not what Team Biden thought they were going to wake up to.
No, I agree with that. I think we had Rasmussen on. He said, hey, he went from 10 up overall down to maybe 5, but he thinks that's the bottom and is now going to surge back as people really take it. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to work through it. I think the 35 million is monumental. However, and I think a third of those are first-time donors. I think that's all great. People have skin in the game, but this is not going to be won by money. And I think they keep pointing to it, but I think they keep pointing to it because we need a campaign. We need to get in these states. We don't really have campaigns in these states. I hate to be so brutally frank about it, but that's the reality. The RNC has been restructured. I haven't seen the urgency. We don't really see them out there, and we stay very close to what's happening in those states, and particularly the 25 districts that are going to determine this election. So we got time, but it's got to be now, now, now. No days off, working 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day. We're burning daylight. The money's great. But money is not going to win this. What's going to win this is the populist grassroots muscle that's going to do it from volunteers, and it's time to get on with it.
I saw a statement last night from Susan Collins, who is not a MAGA supporter by any means, saying she was upset about this decision. To your point about the money, did this push people who probably weren't putting a yard sign out, making phone calls, knocking on doors, say, all right, I need Donald Trump now?
Yeah, I think a large extent, I think she's a pretty good bellwether. I mean, it wasn't a fire breather, but I also think you're seeing this on some big donor sites. I think on the small donor, people just said, hey, I don't understand this. This guy's former president of the United States. It was peace and prosperity. Maybe I don't love Trump, but this is something wrong. I think you're seeing that in the small donors. And Sean, you remember from Wildwood, New Jersey to the Bodega Run to South Bronx to the Coca-Cola 600 down there in the South. This is a populist uprising. President Trump's a populist nationalist leader. People responding to him. As you know, for years you worked to build the coalition even bigger, but now you're seeing it come to fruition. I think those people are starting to kick in a little money. And I think there are people that are kind of the moderates or the big donors that are sitting there going, hey, this could happen to me. President Trump, I think, is very powerful, said, hey, they ain't coming for me. They're coming for you. And I think we're starting to see that. I think you're starting to see this gel, but it's all about execution. We don't need some fancy strategy about this. This is all, and Sean, you've done this for decades, but you know this. This is muscle memory. We got to get it back. We got to hit it. It's going to be grassroots. Get out the vote. The election integrity at the grassroots level with trained up judges and officials, and just let's get on. Let's get it on.
2016, he gets this Access Hollywood moment. Everybody and a lot of people were like, okay, you have to apologize. You have to say you were wrong. Steve Bannon says, screw that. I'm rolling out Juanita Broderick and some other people, and we're taking the fight directly to Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. What's the tactic right now to capitalize on this?
Well, I think you saw Jim Jordan. We've been very big on having the institutions in the apparatuses that are out there that can adjudicate things. Right. That's why I don't want people running off. I don't think we need protests. I don't think we need people in the street. That's just, I think, a waste of energy. What we need is the apparatuses we have. We've been all over the House. And it's time to send some people. Number one, let's call everybody back and have the vote on Merrick Garland about the contempt charge, about holding back the tapes. And if there are moderate Republicans that are not there that don't want to do it, let's expose them. And then let's work them. Let's whip the vote. Number one, do that. What Jim Jordan did today about saying, and I haven't seen a subpoena because we're about subpoenas, but, having Matthew Colangelo Colangelo come in and talk about being seconded from DOJ. Have the daughter of the judge come down there. We need to use official apparatuses to now get this out there, get the information out there, not wait till President Trump takes and everybody says, hey, Mike Davis or Jeff Clark, they're going to come as Attorney General. We need to do it today with the we control the House. We need to do it. Also, the state AGs. We need to do it in Georgia. Chris Carr down in Georgia. The Attorney General of Florida. Now, I realize they're working for governors who want to run in 2028, and maybe the worst thing in their life is having Donald Trump maybe lose in 2024. But the state attorney generals, we need local prosecutors. We need to use official apparatuses to make sure that we can defend the Constitution, that we can actually defend the rule of law. We talk about a lot. Now it's about action, action, action. And I think we even more so need to really get into the Biden. If they're going to do this to Trump, we need to get into the Bidens. And maybe, hey, Sean, you know me, I always like going back to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons. Maybe we go back there too. But I think a deep dive on Jill Biden. There's a lot there that was in the laptop from hell. The laptop from hell has already been used in a federal court, so we know it's not Russian disinformation. I think we get into the diary. I think we got to get into the laptop from hell. I think we got to get into Dr. Jill Biden. We got to get into his whole family. What is good for the goose is better for the gander, and it's time that we, I think, went Old Testament. Let's go eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth.
Go Old Testament. They tried to they impeached Trump twice in 2020. They tried to kick him off the ballot in several states. They've now go after him in 4 different cases. Are you worried about what else is to come to stop this movement?
Oh no, Jamie Raskin has said, hey, the Supreme Court was 9-0 about ballot excess. It didn't say that we as Congress, remember, if they win the House by even 1 seat, they will on January 6th say that no, he's an insurrectionist. We have a committee report that, quite frankly, Johnson and those guys have not thrown out yet. There's another inactivity of the Speaker of the House, but they're going to sit there. He said it. He's out on TV all the time walking through it, and he's a constitutional lawyer, a very evil guy, but a very smart guy. He said, hey, on January 6th, we're not going to seat the guy. We're going to make the case that it's got to kick into the House of Representatives, and they hope to beat it on a state-by-state basis, even if not to delegitimize him in front of the American people. No, they will bring up impeachment charges, right? If they're if they have the House, you'll see an impeachment hearing in the spring of 2025. That's coming. This is going to be in the trenches warfare. That gets back to why the front row Joes are so important. This is a game of going to be inches going forward, but they're going to stop at nothing. They must take out Trump because they think in taking out Trump, they defeat Trumpism, which is really what the front row Joes are. They are the globalist uniparty elites are most concerned about the populist movement, about this populist nationalist movement. They understand Trump is the leader of this movement. That's where they're focused on taking him out. But the reason they want to take him out, because they consider him a traitor to his class, is to get to the front row Joes. That is what they must destroy. They must destroy Trumpism, right? Populism. And they must show the country that, hey, if you do this, you're going to be debanked, you're going to be kicked out of your clubs, you're going to be othered. And so that's the big fight ahead. If you look at this, I consider this the top of the first inning. Even President Trump's full second term will be the top of the second inning. We got a long way to go. We got a 20 or 30-year war in front of us to basically take this country back of what's happened in the 60 or 70 years that's led up to this.